Hey folks, I'm Owl. This is Yarn Owl Reads, and this is going to be my O.W.L.s mid-month check-in. I'm filming this because I felt like filming a video in the same way that I did my O.W.L.s TBR video, which essentially just means one take, no edits. Of course, this is now my second take of this because I didn't actually get up and get the books I wanted to talk about that I physically have. So here we go. Regardless, I've currently read 5 books this month. That's a little less than I wanted to be at, considering I want to read 12 books for the readathon. But I'm not too concerned. I still definitely think I'm going to be able to finish all 12 prompts. Let's start with the first book I read was There Will Come a Darkness by Katie Rose Poole. This is a fantasy. I imagine it's probably marketed as, I should just keep holding it up. I imagine it's probably marketed as YA, but I would definitely classify it more as new adult because I'm like all the main characters are between like 17 and in their early 20s. So I'm going to say this is a new adult fantasy. Don't fall. I loved this so much, and I'm going to do a horrible job of explaining it. Because it's just sort of complicated. So it's one of those fantasy stories where there's 5 different main characters, and they all have their own storylines happening, but they're all more or less tied together. So it's great. It's diverse. There are people of color, there are queer characters, and there's magic, and there's magic. There are prophecies. I very, very like morally gray characters, and I love them all as characters, even if I don't actually love them as people. Whatever, it's good. Highly recommend it. I am deeply, deeply impatient for the second one. And it is going to fill the prompt of my Defense Against the Dark Arts prompt of a book that takes place at the sea or on the coast. I was originally going to read The Deep by Alma Katsu for this, but I had it checked out on Overdrive and my checkout expired, which has been happening more and more lately because that's just how life is right now. We're just gonna keep going. But regardless, most of this takes place in coastal cities, and a lot of it that doesn't take place to coastal cities actually takes place on ships on the sea. Here's a map, and I don't know how well you can see that, but the book pretty much takes place here and here, with some inland stuff happening, but regardless, I'm counting it. There we are. The second book I read was A Blade So Black by L.L. McKinney. A quick thing about There Will Come a Darkness, this wasn't on my TBR because I started it in March, I got about halfway through it in March. I planned on finishing it then, or just like putting it off and only doing books for the O.W.L.s that I had started and finished in April. But I'm not doing that anymore. So that's why that wasn't on my TBR and is now here. Next one is A Blade So Black by L.L. McKinney. This one also got 5 stars. This is a YA fantasy. Alice is the main character. She is a nightmare hunter. So it's essentially Alice in Wonderland meets Buffy, which is a very frequent comparison, very frequent comp that is used to describe this book, and it is incredibly accurate. And I was really hesitant to actually read this because Alice in Wonderland retellings and Alice in Wonderland story in general is just not my favorite. But I love Buffy so much, and I loved the premise of this so much that it's like, okay, I'm going to give it a go. And thank God I did. It's so good. It's so good. If you like Buffy, if you like teenage girls balancing like teenage lives like high school and parents with having to fight supernatural creatures, beings, You should read this. It's so good. And this fills the prompt of Charms, which is a white cover. And then I got about halfway through A Dream So Dark, which is I was using for the Ancient Runes prompt, which is a heart on the cover or in the title. And as is happening a lot more these days, my checkout expired. And I have a hold on it, but it's not going to come in again for another few weeks. Probably, it's not going to come in again before the end of April. So I'm really excited to finish that. It's really, really good. Like, picks up right where A Blade So Black left off, which, thank God, considering what the last chapter of A Blade So Black was. Just have the next book on hand when you finish this one. Anyway, so now I have to wait, and it's probably, I have it on Scribd, but I have a weird thing about I don't want to read it on 2 different platforms. Especially because Overdrive will like keep my place, and then I won't have to find it in the Scribd audio. But I might finish it, but my backup plan for that prompt is now to read Heartstopper Volume 1 by Alice Oseman. Yes, this is a visual read as opposed to the audiobooks, which are almost all that I read these days. But it's a graphic novel, and I've heard that it's gay and cute. I'm gonna try it. But anyway, so that's where we are with the L.L. McKinney's series. The next book that I finished was Would Like to Meet by Rachel Winters. I gave this one 3.5 stars. It was a really cute contemporary romance book, but it's about a woman who wants to write films, but is instead actually pursuing a career as being a film agent. Film writer agent? Screenwriter? Screenwriter agent. I don't know. But regardless, due to her job, she is also trying to prove that meet cutes are real and they work and people can actually meet and fall in love through meet cutes. So she is like fabricating all of these different meet cute scenarios to try and find a person. And through this, she, not through an actual meet cute, but like somebody who just so happens to be present during a couple of these and comments on it is this single father and his daughter who is adorable. And of course there's gonna be something there. It was very, very predictable, which is not a bad thing. Like, it didn't really bring anything necessarily special to it other than I really enjoyed the process of reading this. And yeah, I gave it 3.5 very enthusiastic stars. And that filled the prompt of Muggle Studies, which is to read a contemporary book. Next, I read 2 of the Mercy Thompson books. So these are the 2 most recent things I finished, and that's Night Broken by Patricia Briggs and Fire Touched by Patricia Briggs. So these are the, I think, 7th and 8th books in the Mercy Thompson series, so I'm not going to be able to describe them to you at all. What you really need to know is that, I'm sorry. What you need to know is that it's an urban fantasy series. It's a really long urban fantasy series. It's still going on. I think the most recent book is number 13, and it came out in March. I'm going to try and catch up with that. And with my reread this month, I really like the series. It is definitely problematic. I have a lot to say about it. I think once I finish my reread, I'm just going to write a whole blog post about like the things I think it does well and the reasons I like it, and then the problematic elements. One of which is that the main character is biracial Native American, and Patricia Briggs is not. That being said, sorry, something just fell outside. That being said, I think she does a good job. There doesn't seem to be harmful representation, and coming from a white person. So like, all the grains of salt. And it is also something that Patricia Briggs has become more like cognizant of as the series has continued, and I think that she has done a better job with it as the series has continued. But like, take that with all the grains of salt. In these books in particular, there was a little bit of slut shaming in Night Broken, which is addressed, but I still don't think it was necessary. That being said, Night Broken is still one of my favorites of the series. I have so many feelings about this. Sorry. The general premise of Mercy Thompson, she is a coyote shapeshifter, and she was raised by a pack of werewolves. And now, is that my wife? No, good, because that would be awkward. Anyway, so now she's just like trying to live her life in this world. There's also fairies and vampires and all those things. Anyway, so for those two, one of them is going to cover the transfiguration prompt, which is shapeshifting. And the other one might not actually fit into any of these prompts. Okay, so what's left is arithmancy, outside my favorite genre. This does not fit. This is one of my favorite series. And I'm still planning to read The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. I'm still planning to read Marie Kondo's book for that. It doesn't work for astronomy. I did not read the majority of either of those books while it was dark. I'm pretty sure neither of these has a beak on the cover. I will double check. If it does, I'm absolutely putting it in that prompt. Like, divination doesn't work. Either of these were randomly chosen. Neither of them starts with an M, so it doesn't work for herbology. It could work for history of magic, which is, the prompt is just magical people, witches or wizards. The whole Mercy series has witches, warlocks, wizards in it. But I still really want to read O.W.L.s for that. And neither is under 150 pages. So there we are. That's just where we are with my reading overall. One of those, like, that might fit in with History of Magic. It might fit in with Care of Magical Creatures. But now I'm going to go through the prompts that I haven't finished and talk about what my plans are for those. So, arithmancy, outside my favorite genre. I am still planning to read the Marie Kondo book. It's Marie Kondo. Astronomy, read the majority of the book when it's dark. I am planning to read Fence Volume 1, and I also have Volumes 2 and 3. Those might also get thrown in there. Again, cute gay graphic novel. I've actually already read Volume 1, but I don't remember much of it. I stopped 1 because the volumes that were available on Hoopla were limited, like, to volumes 1 and 2. But also because it started to feel kind of baity, because nothing queer had actually happened, and this is, like, really revered as a queer series. So I have mixed feelings about this. We'll see how I feel after the reread, but that is for my read when it's dark. Beak on the cover. I'm honestly probably going to sub in one of the Mercy books, because I'm sure one of them has a bird on the cover. But I might still read The Tyrant's Tomb. We'll see. Randomly chosen. I have a bunch of graphic novels, and I have a bunch of audiobooks checked out from the library. So I'm just going to assign numbers to those and roll for them. I still haven't picked. Starts with an M. Again, I still want to read Miles Morales, and I have the audiobook checked out. But if that doesn't work out, I also have, My Brother's Husband. This is a manga, which I've never really read a manga. Manga? I don't know. But it's queer, and it's come highly recommended. Magical people. I still want to read O.W.L.s, but if I don't, a Mercy book will also fit in there. Potions is a book under 150 pages. I am absolutely reading Binti. I am reading Binti for that. Binti has been on my TBR for years. I'm going to read it. And that is everything. That's my O.W.L.s update. How's y'all's April going? It is stressful. Stressful does not feel like the right word, because I just haven't left the house at all. Like, during all of April, I have not left the house, other than I think I've gone shopping twice. And I take the dog for walks. But it's hard. The world's on fire. Here we are. But I'm still gonna just keep swimming. I'm gonna end up getting that tattooed at some point after all of this is over, because I keep saying it, but it's like, it's what's keeping me going. Also, Animal Crossing is definitely keeping me going. I'm living my dream of having an all bird island. It's amazing. Yeah. If you've read any of these, if you have any other books you would suggest for some of these prompts, just let me know. Comments are open. My social media's below. You know how this works. I will talk to y'all later. I did finish editing some of I have 2 more videos that I filmed in January, because I filmed like 6 or 7 videos all at once in January, and I still haven't finished uploading them. I have finished editing them. Those should be coming out hopefully in the next couple weeks, so look forward to those. But also don't be surprised that my hair is different, the house is different, and I have the same outfit in all of them. And like, a lot of it has changed since January, but I'm putting them up anyway. I put the work into them. I'm putting them up. Also, the only 2 that are left to go up are 2 favorites of the year videos, so like, that hasn't changed. Anyway, hi. I'll talk to y'all later. Talk to you later. Goodbye.